Welcome to the Brightstar Lifestyle Podcast, where we say yes to joy. Brightstar Lifestyle is in the business of improving life, equipping people with knowledge and skills. We specialize in personal development and guide people and organizations through a life-changing journey. Enjoy! Good day, Bright Stars. Today we are privileged to have Anton Meyer with us in this podcast. Welcome, Anton.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege for me to be here. Thank you.
To share Anton's inspirational life, we start with sharing his CV with you. And I think when you hear his CV, you will already be inspired by someone living life to the full. So Anton has two sons from a previous marriage. One is living in Plumstead here in Cape Town and the other in Auckland in New Zealand. Furthermore, Anton has definitely pride of his life, 3 granddaughters and 1 grandson. 3 years ago, he married a widower, Pauline. Anton was in the educational field for 44 years. And because of youthful enthusiasm and sometimes enjoying too much of life, he was asked to leave a school in Grahamstown. As he says in his CV, no sweat. In 1987, how far am I taking us back now, Anton? In 1987, he became the principal of Grooteskier Primary School at the tender age of 37 years. So he was thrown completely in the deep side. He says he knew very little of running a school and he had to fast forward his leadership and managerial skills. Something that's interesting is that Anton played competitive tennis and he represented the Western Province. And his summary of that is that he said it assisted him greatly in combating the stress of the work. In 1990, their school became the first Afrikaans school in South Africa to open its doors to all religions and creeds. In 1995, they transformed to a dual medium school, and in 2010, they officially became an English medium school. We hear a lot of transformation happening there. In 2003, another highlight in his career happened when they enrolled a black street kid named Bongani Mvumvu. You can correct that for me if you want to, Anton.
Mfumfu.
Thank you. I truly want to say that correctly. Bongani became a world champion in dressage. That's a horse discipline. So even Mr. Mandela invited him to address the parliament in 2005. How interesting. Anton's life is to be, his ambition is to be transparent, teachable, to renew his mind daily, and to be on the cutting edge of new trends and ideas in the educational field. Anton, when I listen to your CV and when I read it, I really am touched by your passion for transformation. And I can hear you are definitely not, even now that you are not in the position anymore, not using this passion for transformation. When I listen to it, I truly hear someone focusing on his thought life. How would you say, how do you think about life? Share a little bit with us, please.
Well, to develop thinking skills changed my life. If I think of how I grew up and how I interfered with other people when they spoke, I came to the conclusion that I can't learn a lot from other people if I do not listen. But the beauty of this is that I only learned that, well, I don't know if it's, the beauty on one side is that I only learned that at talk about a tender age of 70. I say tender because my mom is 100 and I'm only 70 then when I learned learning skills, and that changed my life completely. So the beauty of this is that you can learn something even if you must always be teachable and a learning person. What I learned, you see, I joined a group, Partners for Possibility, where they do social justice and help less privileged headmasters. And we were thrown into, I remember the first meeting we had, when I wanted to say something, they said, no, it's not your turn, because we worked in a circle, you see. And you had to listen to other people. But the profound thing for me was that that they used what you could call cognitive behavioral modification, which sounds a big word, but if you break it down, you make a cognitive decision to change your behavior. So we had to learn to listen in groups, to listen to the person opposite us for 3 or 4 minutes. Do you know how bloody long can 3 minutes be if you have to listen to somebody else without saying a word? And you have to focus on this person, because listening is not only with your ears. You know, we use this cliche, we've got two ears or one mouth. We only say that, but we don't institutionalize it. It doesn't become part of us. So we must create the habit, because only 10% goes through your ears, but you also have to hear the other person's heart, and you have to listen with your heart, and you have to listen with your eyes and see what is he portraying, what is he saying to you. So that changed my life. But if your wife tells you, Anton, your listening skills have improved, you know, you can put a golden star there, and I'm very happy to say that it worked for me.
This is amazing to hear. Congratulations on that compliment from your wife. It definitely is not something that a lot of men get. So that's amazing. May we hear a lot of people getting that compliment in the future. Anton, I'm intrigued by the fact that the moment that we started speaking about transformation, and we spoke about the idea of thoughts, you immediately connected that to listening. That is an amazing connection, to say that your thought life will actually be improved, the way that you think, if you start listening. Am I correct if I make that assumption?
Absolutely, but you see what's happening, there are too many voices outside, and it's escalating. When I grew up many years ago, we had a relationship with people, and we used things. I mean, there wasn't even TV when I grew up, so you were engaged much more with people. But today we've got a relationship with things, with technology, TV, or whatever you want to say, all sort of technologies. But you use people actually, and we have to combat that and change that around, because the voices are just increasing from all different technologies, and we do not get the chance to empower ourselves to listen to other people. I have got the privilege now, and I think it's a privilege to school my children, my grandchildren, to listen to when I speak, and to give each one a chance when, especially my grandson Noah, which is a real go-getter, he interferes, and then I would tell him, just stop for a moment. I just want to listen to what Molly says. It's very simple. And then I listen to what Molly says, and I turn to Noah, said, Noah, now I want to hear what you say. Then I fully engage into Noah's talk, and I want to hear what he says. I lock in with my eyes, and then nothing interferes with me. But you see, I I'm attention deficit. I was. You should not say I am, because the I am is so strong, it grips you in negativity. I was not listening to other people because I was a jack in the box. I was all over the place. But psychotherapy and learning the habit changed my life, because first you learn the habit and then the habit teaches you, and you can do it. And initially, when you grip on other people and you make it a point, maybe you don't listen initially to that person in the beginning stages, but with practice, eventually you get it right. And if you can get it right at 70, think how much you, that is a youngster, can learn from that.
Love the word youngster. Thank you very much for the moment. Anton,
Yeah.
when I listen to you, I realize there must have been something even earlier in your years to have the passion for people. Because for me, I go back to the fact that if I love people, I would want to hear what they are saying. And I heard that as a headmaster, you had all the children in the schools, pictures in color on the wall in your office. And you knew everyone's name. Was it about 500 kids? How many was there? And do you think your love for people has an effect on listening?
Yeah, well, the children I studied the names of the children, because I think it's Carnegie that said, your name is like honey. If I can say Amanda and I can address you and I name, immediately I've got your attention. And but the beauty is that if the children, especially the younger ones, come in, they don't listen to me. They immediately check out where their photo is on the, and that was wonderful for me. Yes, if I say I wasn't a good listener, I was not, but that's not completely true, because I sat many times with children in my office and listened to them and what they've got to say, and asking them questions about their life. And I even had children that came into my office and the teachers sent them to me, and then the child would have said to somebody else, and it happens, F off to somebody. And then I would ask the child why he said that, and I would say to him, do you think I've ever said it? Now, I might not be able to get away with this because I'm already in this. And I said, yes, I've also said that before in my life. Then we are on even base, and then I can start talking to this child. And so with listening comes also humility, and also to confess that you are also vulnerable. And the child likes that if you can listen to him. One day a child came to, not one day, he came to me many times. He was not listening in the class. There are various ways to handle this. I knew that he liked, I've heard it, a group, the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, I'm very fond of rock and roll music. So I said to him, I think his name was Clive. Clive, come. I want to go and buy something at the cafe in school time. Come with me. And I had that record and I played it full blast. And I think he came back. He never was the same, because he couldn't believe that this headmaster, this old grey bugger, could listen to the music that he listened to. And that got him to listen to me, and I could work with this kid. So I don't know if that answers more or less what you're asking me.
Yeah, it definitely answers my question, for the fact that when we listen to you, I'm truly inspired by the fact that you would not just react to all the children the same. You reacted to each of them individually for their needs and where they are at that moment. Maybe we can end this discussion, because we'll definitely have another discussion with you. It's so interesting to talk to you. But in this discussion with, maybe you can just share a little bit on Bongani's situation, because what you, if you say it's a highlight in your life, I can also see you had to connect to his life to be encouraged by him.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say. Let me see, where will I start? Bongani sat with Mrs. Moore one day in my office. He could not go into another school. Sometimes you have to swim against the current. All schools had admission policies. I was reprimanded by my superiors because I did not have one. I want to see the child in front of me and see what I can do. When I talk about an admission policy, no school wanted to take him because he was 2 years older than the other kids. And as a team, we work together. You need somebody like me, and you need other teachers. I opened the door for Bongani, come inside. My teachers nested over him, hovered over him, got him an ID, and took him in for weekends. I just let him in. It was a team situation. But what I was intrigued by this boy, he was emotionally intelligent. He changed my whole thinking about that culture. And Bongani became this world champion. He also became a South African horse gymnastic guy, standing on a horse and doing all sort of funny things. And he played Craven Week rugby. But what would have happened if that child was not seen? I can carry on, but I think maybe just another thing about this emotional and social intelligence. When I had problems with grade 7s, which we often had, I will call Bongani in. I say, X and Y and Z's got, they challenging me, and he will sit down with them and around the table, talk to them and say, Peter, you're a good rugby player. I like this and this about you. But what you do in class is wrong. Where did he learn that? It was just show you the human, the Homo sapien has got learned a hell of a lot. Also, what happens on street, most likely. But there were documents about him, written about him. He met Madiba. He met many, many people, and I had the privilege to go with him. I had the privilege to go to schools. He was a Brightstar. I was just filling in there. And I love Bongani. Last thing about it. When I was 57, he was in Joburg then. He was then, I think I was 57. I can't remember. And they flew him down, and he congratulated me. He was behind curtains. And he came forward and he congratulated me and thanked the school for what they've done for him. And of course, I was sobbing and crying. And that made my day and my year. And that's why I'm in education, to change people's lives.
Yeah, this was so special to hear this, Anton. Thank you for sharing it. To end our conversation, the interesting thing is that I asked Anton if there is a website or somewhere that I can send somebody would like to get more information. Anton's reaction was to say, please give my telephone number. People can talk to me. You can chat to me, ask me questions. Let's have this chat. And as you can hear, he will also listen to what you are saying. So Anton, thank you so much for this conversation. I'm going to give your telephone number. I was amazed with somebody's just saying, give my number to others that they can connect with me.
It's 073 1724859.
Thank you very much, Anton. And thank you to all of you. Enjoy your day. And thank you for shining. Keep on being bright stars. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today. You can visit us at www.brightstarlifestyle.co.za. Keep on shining.